Hello, I'm TheZOMBIEJ, and it's time to pick a bone with Cryoshell. Once again, we have to talk about this band because they were part of my childhood, and I imagine they were part of yours as well. As a Bionicle fan, I loved their material from 2007 to, well, up until the debut album in 2010. 10 awesome tracks. For 2 songs, Christine Lorenzen was replaced while dealing with her pregnancy. And that's understandable because she was having her first child. Obviously, Tyne Midgard is no Christine Lorenzen, but she was somewhat close in terms of voice. She was able to get the job done, though. Christine came back, obviously. And ever since, well, 2015, with the instrumental of Gravity Hurts, we've got a slew of singles. Be it songs we've already heard, or brand new ones, or orchestral versions of songs we already heard. And even a collaboration with Essinger. Synth rock artist and fellow Missourian Bionicle fan. This was a great collaboration. As Above, So Below. Fantastic, memorable song for the year 2023. But ever since that song's release, and ever since the debut album came out, self-titled, in 2010, there has been a lack of full lengths or even EPs. Even a single 5-song EP was not released. And Next to Machines has been in production for what seems to be like going on 15 years now, it feels. What the fuck? What is taking so long with this album? It seems like Cryoshell are just incompetent as a band. Yes, they write good material. Christine has an amazing voice, better than Amy Lee, if I must say. Yeah, I know that's gonna piss off some Evanescence fans, but hey, I like Evanescence. I just like Cryoshell a lot more because just listen to the music and realize the sentiment behind it. Cryoshell's incompetence seems to be more noted than it was previously. They have one album, and that's it. They have been sitting on Next to Machines for what seems like a decade and a half now, and they can't be bothered to release it. As I've stated in my Rant review, or my Rant video, like a year or 2 ago, they could have released the 5 studio tracks, including Foe and the 4 other songs. Slipping, Dive, Nature Girl, Don't Look Down. Yeah, there was a total of 5 songs that were, that could have been, compiled into an EP. And that would have been their final release if they wanted to, call it quits. But instead they've been staying stagnant for what seems like an eternity. They're incompetent because of the lack of full lengths and the lack of what seems to be dedication to releasing all the music that the fans want them to. I want that second album. I want it now, and I better get it now. That's the mindset that some of us are probably having. Now, obviously, there are constraints, but who gives a fuck about that? There are other rock bands that are more competent than Cryoshell. It seems Cryoshell just lacks competence simply because they don't have enough albums to even warrant, listening to just for the singles. The singles are good, but where are the albums? One album in 2010. 15 years ago, what the fuck? There was an EP that came out the same year just before that, it seems. But that was just a sampler EP of what to expect on the album, basically. Cryoshell seems to just have given up on releasing Next to Machines. There hasn't been a single since 2021, not counting the collaboration with Essinger, with the song Foe. The Foe was fucking good. It really was. It could serve as the opening track for the album. And the two orchestral classical version tracks are non-album singles, which is fine. But I would have liked to see those two saved as bonus tracks on Next to Machines. But it seems like we're not getting Next to Machines anytime soon. It's not going to happen. So we have to lower our expectations at this point, because Cryoshell just can't get it together and put this album together and put it out there quick enough for this band to be even relevant anymore. Relevance is key to a band's existence. And if you don't have enough albums to support your creative output, your desire of wanting to make music for your fans, there's no point in even existing as a band. As a man who has listened to so many bands over the years in the rock and metal sonospheres, realms, I've seen bands come, I've seen bands go, and there are bands that have had way more albums than Cryoshell. Take a look at Slayer, who has released 12 albums, including a covers album, for the most part. Now I get it. That band started in 1981, and their debut was in 1983. Their last album was in 2015. 10 years ago. Almost. Night and day difference, though. Cryoshell has one album. Slayer has 12. A modern example, 3 Days Grace. Now, obviously, they started in, 1999 or something like that. I don't know. 2000. And their debut was in 2003. They're releasing their 8th studio album here in 2025. And it's going to be a massive dynamic shift. Vocally. Because Adam Gontier is back. And Matt Walst is still there. But this new vocal dynamic will be amazing. I'm looking forward to the album. Again, night and day difference. 3 Days Grace now has 8 albums. Cryoshell has 1. Shinedown will have an 8th album this year too. I love their music. They don't have a bad song at all. No. Even the B-sides are good. Again, night and day difference. Shinedown will have an 8th album this year. Cryoshell won't. Cryoshell only has that one album from 2010, and it was not widespread released like we were probably hoping it would be in 2010 or 2011 when it was released under another label. So what is taking so long for Cryoshell to release Next to Machines, or at least get into the studio and finish recording the other songs, or whatever material they have left to finish this fucking album? It's incompetence is what it is. It's also lazy, and it's also a lack of interest in making music anymore. It just so happened to be a fluke that this collaboration with Essinger was able to happen. Because Essinger approached the band with an ideas for this song, and they were able to make this song a dream come true. I support that. That is amazing. That's a fantastic story, and the song also fucking fantastic. But it seems like, besides that one collaboration, Cryoshell feels like they're done. If they can prove me wrong and release a song like, I don't know, next week, then maybe I'll pull this video. But for now, I don't think they're releasing a new album. I've seen nothing in the way of new material strictly from Cryoshell themselves and not with any other artists. A Cryoshell album in 2025 would have been amazing, but it feels like after these 15 years have gone by, it's not relevant anymore. And it feels like this band is not relevant anymore. I'll still listen to their material that we did get. Back in like Christmas of 2017 or whatever, I got the Amazon edition of their self-titled album. Because they couldn't be bothered to reissue it like they originally planned to. But hey, this works, at least. The disc works, and I'm happy about that. Otherwise, the album is available digitally. And where's the fun in that? Where's the fun in digital media when physical media is still a fucking thing? If Cryoshell are not willing to, release new music besides that one collaboration and release the new album next to Machines at all in this day and age, they really need to take a look and examine their current situation, their current train of thought, and realize that, this isn't working out the way everyone wants it, so we need to compile the singles that we release into an EP and release it as a digital EP, and then we can break up. That might upset some people. It upsets me even more that they still haven't released new material besides that one song, Foe. In 2022, we got nothing. Last year, we got nothing. This year, it seems like there's not going to be anything either. What the flying fuck, Cryoshell? The collaboration song just seemed like a desire for one fan to make his dream come true. And that's exactly what it is, and I still support that. It's great. It's a fantastic story to tell. But Cryoshell themselves it seems like they're not interested in releasing new material beyond that single in 2023. A lot of great stuff came out in 2023 from various rock and metal bands. And all we got was a collaborative single from Cryoshell and Essinger. What does the future hold for Cryoshell? It's looking very bleak. By a hairline thin, it's very bleak, and that is sad. I see nothing from Cryoshell coming in the near future, or even next year, or even the next couple years after that. I don't think they're going to release new material. You want to know why? Because they're incompetent. They lack the competence of all these other rock and metal bands that exist today, and even back for the past 5 decades. They lack the competence that these bands did when they were releasing albums. And that's not a good thing. If they want to continue making music, they should have released a second album in, say, I don't know, 2013. And then took it off from there, releasing albums every 3 years. Much like 3 Days Grace did for a time. I don't know what Cryoshell is thinking right now, but they need to get off their ass and release new material. Otherwise, I'm just going to forget about them and forget about hope of a new album. Next to Machines is a dead project at this point, much like the reissue of their self-titled album that would have come out on vinyl. That would have been amazing. Imagine having a vinyl copy of Cryoshell's self-titled album. Yeah, that would be amazing. I would play that on my record player for days without stopping. I love this idea that much. And it was scrapped. It was a dead project, and Next to Machines seems to be a dead project. Cryoshell feels like a dead band at this point. If they're done making music, then they should probably make an announcement and disband already. And this would be heartbreaking for so many fans, myself included. But I feel like the truth is out there, that this band was never going to be competent enough to compete with, or good enough to compete with other rock and metal bands of the 2010s or even here in the 2020s. I'm a music nerd, so this kind of thing bugs me when a band that I love hasn't released material for God knows how long. Slayer hasn't released an album for 10 years. And that's fine, because they don't plan on releasing new material anytime soon at all. Kerry King's self-titled, solo project, From Hell I Rise, that album came out last year, and it was lambasted by some. I thought it was fantastic. It felt like a sequel to the Slayer material that came out in 2015 and beyond, before that. Cryoshell, get your shit together and release something. Otherwise, you might lose fans. I don't think enough people have a general interest in you anymore because of the lack of material. Again, As Above, So Below was a fluke. It just so happened that that happened, and it's a great song, but that's it. That's all we're getting from Cryoshell, is a collaboration between them and a Bionicle fan who is also a musician. It's not enough. It's nowhere near enough to really satisfy fans for an elongated period of time until your next single, which I don't see coming out at all. It's hard to compete in this day and age in the music industry when you're a small band like Cryoshell that were only popular because of a toy line. So, if Cryoshell can prove this video wrong and prove me wrong, then maybe we'll see Next to Machines come out either this year or next year. But by the time that album comes out, it feels like it won't be relevant anymore. The songs that we got are probably going to be the only songs we're going to get from Cryoshell at this point. You might as well lower your expectations, temper your expectations, and just fucking forget about it for now. Because at this point, it's not going to happen. Cryoshell, at this point, I feel like are done. And while that might piss off some of you, there's always other rock bands, other metal bands that you can go listen to. Hell, there's even Japanese bands that are excellent and current. Take a look at the fictional band Kasoku Band from the Bocchi the Rock anime. Wow. Indie rock, alternative rock that has some stuff to offer here and there. They've released one debut album, a slew of singles, a few EPs, and I expect a second full length probably this year or next year. I don't know. But we'll see. There are other bands in Japan like the Bang Dream franchise bands like, I don't know, Reiza Suilen, electronic rock godliness. There's even a metal band in that franchise, Ave Musica. Wow. There's even a fictional band from the anime girls band Cry called Toganashi Togaari. 2 albums, amazing material. It can happen. But Cryoshell seems to think otherwise, and therefore their philosophy on music has changed, and it seems like they're done. I am expecting the new Shinedown and 3 Days Grace albums and the new Breaking Benjamin album to all drop this year and drop to high praise. If Cryoshell drops an album at all, be it this year, next year, or 2027, chances are it'll be forgotten within a few weeks. That's just how things go. When a band that's only popular because of a toy franchise that is our childhood, they're only popular for that, and the songs that they did release were excellent, but still, this is a band that has very little competence, if at all. But at least we got what we got, and what we got I'm grateful for. But still, a second album, or hell, even a third, fourth, or fifth album by now would have been amazing. Cryoshell could have had a full discography by now, and it would have been amazing. But their lack of competence and, well, interest in making that much music seems to be plaguing them. And it feels like at this point they've lost their creative spark. And that's sad. That really is sad. That's heartbreaking. That's gut-wrenchingly bad. And I hate to say this, but I'm done with Cryoshell at this point. I'll still listen to the album, Cryoshell, self-titled, which I reviewed last year. I'll still listen to that album over and over again from time to time. I'll just listen to that and worship it for what it was back when it was relevant. Cryoshell are done at this point. If you think otherwise, well, tell me why I'm wrong in the comment section below. There's no sign, at least from what I've seen, that a song is coming out this year or next year and that Next to Machines will be here anytime soon. There's no sign of anything from Cryoshell at this point, unless, you know, Christian Faber himself could prove me wrong. Or if the band can prove me wrong, but I doubt it. I've seen bands come, I've seen bands go, and it seems like Cryoshell are just meandering and just left out there in thin air. They're just existing because they can. That's what it feels like. That's truly what it feels like. They exist because they can. Not because they want to make music, but because they exist because they can. Because the fans want them to exist. Doesn't matter if they're still releasing music. They exist because we want them to. That's not good enough. A band can't exist without making at least a song or two, and Cryoshell have done this, but we all want that second album. It's not gonna happen though. No. Cryoshell compile those 5 songs into an EP, release that digitally, maybe physically in limited numbers, and retire. Because at this point, it's what we should expect at this point. Fans, temper your expectations, lower your expectations. Your expectations will never be met for this new album. I don't mean to hurt anybody's feelings, myself included, but it's inevitable. I hope this reaches Cryoshell's reach, because they need to listen to this, because it's important. We need them to make a decision, and make it now, or sometime soon, because if they are competent enough to release music, then they should have done it back when they were still relevant. Now, it doesn't feel like they're relevant anymore. Enough to release this goddamn second album that's been overhyped to oblivion, but still hasn't been fucking released. Make a decision and roll with it. Fans, our expectations will never be met for Cryoshell at this point. That collaborative song was good. It was very damn good. But it just feels like that was a minor blip on the radar. Even though it was used in promotional material for Masks of Power, a game that LEGO canceled because they could. So, that's it for this rant video. I apologize for the, length of this video, but this is one that it was important to me because I was stewing on this video for quite a long time now. And it was time for me to finally speak up and say my piece on Cryoshell's incompetence. They're not good enough. They can't prove me wrong, can they? They're not good enough to compete with other rock and metal bands nowadays. When the markets are so overly saturated, Cryoshell stands out with just this one album, self-titled, and that's it. That's all we're getting in terms of full lengths. I don't see another single coming out. Fuck it. If it does, fuck it. I don't care. We're not getting a new album. That's the bottom line. What do you think about this idea? Let me know in the comment section below. And I got a couple more videos for y'all today, so stay tuned for more videos. I'm TheZOMBIEJ. I'll see you folks. Have a good fucking day, and peace.